Sacco and Felice, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFelice.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And one of the 2 U.S. fighter jet crew members rescued after Iran shoots them down, putting a bounty on the pilots. Dominic Carter here with you on this Friday. The number to reach me and we can talk about whatever is on your mind, 800-848-9222. An American pilot was rescued in a daring operation by U.S. Special Forces today after Iran shoots down an F-15E fighter jet and placed a bounty on the crew. There are a number of issues on my mind. We see your calls coming in. Again, the number to reach us, 800-848-9222. One of them, this from Fox News.
A manhunt is still underway in New York City after a baby girl was killed by a stray bullet in Brooklyn this week. She was sharing a stroller with her 2-year-old brother, who was grazed in the back. The men involved in the shooting were reportedly aiming for the 7-month-old's father. Police say they were on a moped when one of them opened fire before speeding off and crashing about 2 blocks away. The alleged gunman is in police custody and faces murder charges. Officials are looking for the man who drove this moped.
So I'm going to get to law enforcement in just a second, in particular the NYPD. But did you know, folks, and I'm going to tee off on this a bit later in the program, a professional basketball player, a member of the Chicago Bulls, what did he do? He was released, let go, the same day it happened after he publicly condemned the NBA's Pride Month celebrations on religious grounds, and he was released the same day for conduct detrimental to the team. LeBron James talks about race. It seems like every other couple of months, nothing happens to him, but this player has been cut. I'm going to deal with that. But big on my mind right now, and this is something that has gone below the radar screen this week, and that is the murder acquittal of a cop killer, of an NYPD cop killer. You heard what I said in terms of, how fast we forget how young officer Jonathan Diller sacrificed his life. At the time, a father of a 1-year-old, his wife Stephanie, and he lost his life. And what happened in a Queens, New York courtroom this week was a gut punch to me, to you, to the entire city, and certainly to law enforcement throughout the country. A jury actually acquitted this cop killer of first-degree murder, finding him guilty of lesser charges, and thank God he's still looking at up to 90 years in prison. But if you want to know what's going wrong with our country in terms of fighting crime, in terms of what's happening each and every day, look at what happened in this Queens courtroom. How do you let a cop killer go on the top charge of first-degree murder when he killed Officer Diller and wounded Officer Diller's partner? So 2 years ago, just 2 short years ago, and it seems like we have a short memory these days, career criminal Guy Rivera shot and killed NYPD Detective Jonathan Diller on a street in Queens. And Officer Diller was, of course, doing the job the city asked him to do. I want you to listen to this because it reflects the pain of police officers. It reflects the pain of Officer Diller's wife. This is what PBA President Patrick Hendry had to say as he walked out of the courtroom surrounded by fellow officers. Again, this, whatever you want to call him, acquitted of first-degree murder. They got him on lesser charges, other charges, but this is what Patrick Hendry had to say.
I left a family who's had to deal with this nightmare for the last 2 years. And today, when they got the news, they're still devastated. These police officers know behind me that this was murder one on a New York City police officer. No doubt about it. But we want to thank the Queens District Attorney and her entire team for their hard work, their tireless effort over the last 2 years in articulating this case. As police officers, we can't thank them enough. This decision at least gives Jonathan and his family some justice, but it doesn't give them full closure. The pain will never go away. And this Sunday on Easter, when many families will be celebrating together, Jonathan will not be at that table with his family. His wife, Stephanie, will never see her husband again. And Jonathan's son, Ryan, will take all the milestones in his life without his father by his side to guide him. Why? All because of a repeat offender who should have never been on the streets of Rockaway, Queens. This cold-blooded killer who has no regard for human life. On March 25th, 2024, every decision he made, he put New Yorkers and police officers in jeopardy by carrying a loaded firearm onto the streets. And when our police officers approached him, he could have surrendered. He could have surrendered for that illegal firearm. But no. He saw a police officer. He didn't care who was behind the uniform. He squeezed that trigger, killing a young, hardworking, a family man, and took his life. And to add insult to it all, while Jonathan Diller was fighting for his life on the ground, for some reason, he thought it was funny. Smiling. Well, we say this. The only smiling he's going to be doing is in a jail cell by himself. And that's what we hope the judge will do at that sentencing.
How do you let a cop killer go on the top charge of first-degree murder? Just 2 years ago, Officer Diller, now detective, gave his life for the city of New York, for you, for me, for everyone else. His son is now, 3 years old? He'll never be around his father. And it honestly, it hurts in my stomach because you let a cop killer walk on first-degree murder, a jury in Queens, New York. We have a lot to get to, including reports of anti-Semitism as it relates to New York City. I'm going to tell you about that NBA incident. But let's start with some of your telephone calls on this Friday. Let's begin with John, line 2 in Flushing. What's on your mind, John?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I love listening to you.
Thank you.
What you did today is great. Jonathan Diller's story I thought was going to disappear into the woodwork, and you brought it all.
Not going to happen on my watch.
and I appreciate that. But I will say this, I was a little surprised at Jessica Tisch, who I love, and I think I'm a retired sergeant. I think a lot of the police officers like her and think she's doing a good job. But she wrote a story for the Post, and it was all over the page. It's not the prosecutor's fault. It's not the juror's fault. It's somebody's fault. Somebody screwed up. Either the DA didn't prosecute it vigorously, which I believe they did, or it was jury nullification. They didn't want to give the first-degree murder to a Queens resident. And he needed a first-degree murder conviction. He killed somebody already.
Right. Well, he needed a lot more than a first-degree murder conviction. He better thank the Lord that it's not up to me to decide his fate. That stupid smirk on his face. What a loser life he lived. And then he took the life of an innocent man, a police officer, giving so much to the city. And now his young son has no father. His wife will live with this for the rest of her life, that her husband is gone. I will say this, John, and thank you for the telephone call. The commissioner did speak out in a rather strong manner about this, about how disappointed she was just the other day. So I'll give her credit for that. I know I'm going to regret this, but let me go to Russ in White Plains, line 3 on this Friday. What's on your mind, Russ?
Neither you nor I nor any of these callers were in the jury room, and I think it's wrong to second-guess the jury. Guy Rivera got justice. He could have gotten iced like Peretti in Minneapolis. Officer Diller was a very aggressive cop. He grabbed the gun.
How do you know? How do you know he was very aggressive? Russ, I don't understand you sometimes. Why are you saying the things you're saying right now?
Because it was reported that he had multiple arrests. He arrested many people. He was an aggressive cop.
Now, wait. Don't we want police officers with multiple arrests? Don't we? Isn't that a good thing, Russ?
Right, except when they're doing it so much that it's out of control, and he was in plain clothes. I don't know the circumstances. Guy Rivera is going to prison for a long time. But, to sit here and say that the jury was wrong, this country is a good country because we have rules.
The jury was dead wrong. It's the wrong decision. And I don't know, Russ. I don't understand you. Sometimes I really don't. I don't understand you. I really don't understand why you're saying, do you just like going against the grain all the time? I don't understand why you're saying the things you're saying.
Do you not respect the jury system in this country? Do you not love the Constitution? Because I love the Constitution, but you seem to do whatever you feel like is right to perform whatever role you're performing. Dominic, I don't understand you sometimes.
All right. Well, Russ, thank you for the call.
Dominic is done with you.
We see the other calls coming in, folks. We're going to get to them. Mark and Hackensack among them. I see a few other calls in the wings here. What we're going to do right now is take a break. And when we come back on this Friday, I'm going to tell you why I'm upset at the NBA. I mean, I guess you can't have religious freedom to speak out. And I love my friends in the gay community. I really do. But for an NBA player to speak out against gay celebrations on religious beliefs, and you cut him from the team the same day, it is wrong. We are coming right back.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back on this Friday. So the NBA, right? I enjoy going to an NBA game, but you have to cut off your left arm, your right arm, and your leg in order to afford it, in order to pay for it. So I want to make sure I got this right, NBA. LeBron James can whine about racism every couple of months whenever he feels like it, even though he's on his way to becoming a billionaire. He can whine all he wants to about racism. But if you're Jaden Ivey of the Chicago Bulls and you speak your mind and you do not support the Pride Month celebrations on religious grounds, the Bulls cut you the same day. The same day. It's just not right. Now, if it were I would take, if I were a player, I would take part in the Pride Month celebrations. But some people, based on religion, foundation and their beliefs, they do not believe that they should be forced to support this. So on social media, Jaden Ivey publicly condemned the NBA's Pride Month celebrations and made what some would consider controversial comments regarding religion, right? In which he said, all I'm preaching about is Jesus Christ. And they waived me, claiming that he was cut for his faith. So he was let go the same day by the Chicago Bulls. And the team said that he was released for conduct detrimental to the team. That's called covering your rear side in terms of a lawsuit. It's just wrong. LeBron James and others can whine every few months about race, but if you stand up against the gay community on your religious grounds, it could cost you your career. NBA, you are better than that. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you on this Friday. Let's go to Kathy, line 4 in Westchester. Kathy, what's on your mind?
Hi. I just wanted to say to the last guy that you were talking to, who was talking about the police officer and that we trust the jury and he loves the Constitution. He seems to forget, or maybe he's not old enough to know, that it used to be that if you killed a police officer, you got the death penalty. And to sit there and say that this was a bad cop because he was aggressive, because he made a lot of arrests. Now, I don't know if he had brutality issues and that's a separate thing. But to sit there and say that he was a bad cop because he didn't look the other way. And then the third thing is that if this guy was already accused of murder, I think I heard you say beforehand, before killing this cop, then this man, Russell, whatever his name is, he's a fool, and he's a big part of what's wrong with everything in this country today.
Well, all I can tell you, Kathy, is that he was a career criminal, this low-life loser, animal savage. And that's just what comes to mind off the top of my head. I wish that I could come up with many more terms to describe him. I mean, he's a waste of taking oxygen that the rest of us could use. And you're correct. There was a time when if you killed a police officer, you're looking at the death penalty. And now it's an entirely different situation. And it has to stop. This jury in Queens, New York needs to be ashamed of themselves. I hope the judge throws the book at this animal when he's sentenced. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Folks, we have got to be careful society-wise. It's such a slippery slope. The fact of the matter is that jury in Queens, New York that let the killer of Officer Diller walk on murder one. They got him on other charges. He's still looking at 90 years in prison. And Carlos, can I say on air what I hope happens to him in prison? Maybe I better leave that part alone. Okay, I'll leave that part alone. But just use your imagination for what I think should happen to that in prison. Okay, but a slippery slope. And to members of that jury in Queens that let this animal will for the rest of his life say they didn't get me on murder one. And you better believe he's going to brag about it. And for an officer that gave his life, but a slippery slope to members of that jury in Queens that let him walk on murder one. I want you to think about Seattle because this could have been you. Slippery slope. You let one thing go, you let the next thing go. It's called broken windows theories, right? But I'm taking it at a much higher level. Seattle, Washington, a city that I lived in for a number of years in high school, right? On the subway system, elevated subway system, man minding his business, waiting for the subway. You see this all on video. You're about to hear the audio. Guy is hiding behind a pillar, sneaks up behind him right as the train is about to arrive and pushes him. Thank God the man had more strength than the nut pushing him because he got close to the end of the platform, but it was not enough to push him over as the train went by.
A harrowing scene on a train platform in Seattle. A man appears to shove another man right into the path of a train. The man was able to stay on his feet and was not hurt. The suspect was arrested and charged with attempted murder.
And so when you let one thing slide, the next thing happens with these losers, these criminals. The man that shot Officer Diller, Detective Diller, and his partner should have been convicted of first-degree murder. The man's wife is sitting there in the crowd, crying and frowning as she hears the jury say the jury decision of not guilty on murder one. So if that's not murder one, what is? Oh, jury members, only if one of your family members are killed? You should be ashamed of yourself. But happy Passover. We see all the calls. We're going to get to you folks in just a moment. We're going to go to Ray in Putnam County who wants to respond to what Russ had to say about Officer Diller a few minutes ago. We'll get to that in just a second. But it's Passover as we speak. And New York City Police Commissioner, this is happening in cities all across the country, talking about the issue of anti-Semitism.
Now switching to hate crimes. Confirmed hate crimes increased nearly 12% this quarter citywide. We continue to see that the vast majority of our hate crimes are anti-Semitic in nature. In fact, in the first quarter of 2026, more than half of all confirmed hate crimes, or 55%, were anti-Semitic, despite Jews only making up approximately 10% of the population of New York City. These cases are investigated by the NYPD Hate Crimes Task Force, which determines whether an incident meets the legal standard for a hate crime under New York state law. As of today, and for the first time, our monthly hate crime data will include two clear, accurate sets of numbers. Reported hate crimes, those flagged for investigation by the task force, and confirmed hate crimes as determined by the task force. That is the gold standard for reporting on hate crimes, and that is what we are going to do going forward.
So I see that William in Central Jersey wants to talk about this NBA player being released by the Bulls because he simply stood up on religious grounds and said it was wrong for the Pride Month celebrations. We'll get to that in just a second. And also we're going to start right now with Ray in Putnam County who wants to talk about Russ's phone call. But first, I'm looking at my Twitter at my X on this Friday, and Cassandra Van Post says, Dominic, Mom Donnie's silence regarding the Diller sentence has totally locked it in for me. I have zero respect for this imposter mayor. Voted in, yes, but hardly earned or deserved of the title. I agree with you, Cassandra, and you are correct. Let's go to now Ray, line 5, Putnam County. Ray, what's on your mind?
Hey, good afternoon, Dominic. Quick question. You know, I've been listening to your show for a long time, and Russ is a disruptor. We all know that. But is he like a part of this ACLU crap, as far as I'm concerned? I mean, the man's out of his mind. He just seems, I don't know. I don't even know. Every time I hear him, it's more and more crazy. So whose side is he on?
Well, that's a question. It's a good one, but that's a question he has to answer. I met Russ once. He came out to an event where I was moderating something in White Plains, I believe it was, or someplace like that. But he showed up, a nice guy. His politics, I can't answer for his politics. And, you know, I'm often asked this question, why do I take his telephone call? It's the same reason why I take everyone else's telephone calls. You know, sometimes people are just not logical, but I firmly believe, Ray, that everyone has a right to their opinion. And in terms of someone being the thought police, I have a big problem with that. That's another slippery slope. So I don't appreciate what he said today about Officer Diller, but I expect no less from him. That's just who he is. I'll give you the final word before I move on.
Well, okay, thank you. I think his roommate is Ron Kuby. Let's leave it at that. Have a
Thank
great
you
Easter.
very much.
I love you, Dominic.
Thank you. Love going right back to you, Ray, on this Friday. I hope you're doing something fantastic this weekend. Let's go to William, line 4, Central New Jersey. William, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. The point that I was going to make about that poor basketball player that got fired for, voicing his opinion, like whatever happened to the perspective of the open mind, like a mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work until it's open. I mean, I thought the LGBT community was open-minded and everybody would have a viewpoint. Obviously not. But I was thinking also, too, that's Chicago. It's a blue state. It's Democrat. So they're gonna follow up. And also the NBA is always looking to make more money. They're going where the money is. They couldn't give a damn about the player. And another point is that guy's, I hope he continues to work and he can get a job like over in Europe playing basketball. I'm sure it's not the end for him. So I feel bad for him. And, how close-minded are they?
Well, to go from the Chicago Bulls and the NBA to playing in Europe would be a huge demotion. And, and also a tremendous pay cut. I doubt now that any other NBA team will pick him up. But I mean, simply because he said that he doesn't think that Pride Month celebrations are appropriate based on his religion. I mean, everybody's entitled to their belief, and you cut this man from the team. My first instinct is that it has to be something else. It has to be that you're not, cause at one point he was a top 5 draft. It has to be you're not happy with his performance. Please tell me it's something else, and it's not this. And then when you add on the fact that LeBron whines every few months, great basketball player, but he whines every few months about race. Nobody in the NBA says peep about that, but you have this poor Chicago Bulls player, and he's let go from the team. It's just not the right thing to do. William, thank you very much for the call. Let's go to line 3. Bob in Manhattan. Bob, what's on your mind?
Dominic, it's a sad time. Every day in the news we're reading about people out on no cash bail, murderers, thugs, criminals, and we have Andrew Cuomo to thank for that. I don't hear anybody squawking about that. Why aren't you on him for having that law which has really killed thousands of people? Where are you?
So you really just want me to condemn Cuomo and blame him for the whole thing, right? That's going to make you happy, right?
No. It's a matter of ethics and morals. Think about, he released 50 cop killers.
Okay, every governor, just about every Democrat governor has released cop killers. I mean, that, I'm not saying it's right, but Bob, you got this thing for Cuomo, right? And I really think that you need counseling, man. Because, so I didn't take your call the other day after every time I play a Cuomo soundbite, you go absolutely bananas. And it's not healthy, man. You know, I mean, he came close to winning the mayor's race. I just don't understand what's the point. You're not going to change anyone's point of view. Why do you insist on keep doing this?
We love your show, but the listeners have to know the other side. You have to be honest with them. This guy.
If you think that I don't give both sides, Bob, then you don't listen to the show. I give people every angle of what a story is about. But you are obsessed with Cuomo, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Can you tell me why you're so obsessed with him? You have said your point of view over and over and over and over. When does it stop?
We have family members who died because
you say the same thing every single time. Okay, so then, right, we all know the story. How did he get so close to becoming mayor? He would have won if the deck wasn't stacked.
A segment on this. How about the police
Excuse me?
officers?
I can't hear you.
Why don't you do a segment?
I'm not going to do a segment based on your warped ideas. Are you serious?
Look it up. 50 cops.
Look up
out.
what?
What about their families? Discuss it. You cover it up. You make this guy a saint.
Now I cover it up. Okay, Bob. So why do you keep calling me? If I don't cover issues and if I'm covering things up, why are you obsessed with me?
I represent the families that lost.
No. That's not what I just asked you. What I just asked you is why are you obsessed with me?
Only one who boosts him. Playing a soundbite. Who cares what he says? He should be in jail.
Okay, did you hear an Andrew Cuomo soundbite today? Are you delusional? What is wrong with you? Did you hear an Andrew Cuomo soundbite today?
You're probably lining one up.
So I'm not supposed to play it because of you? Who are you?
Well, who are you to play lies? Talk about what he did to the city. That's all.
Bob, the more that you demand that I do it, the less I'm going to do it. Now, I want you to eat on this.
Dominic is done with you.
Meet Mr. Click. And every time you call Bob, you are going to meet Mr. Click. This ain't about Cuomo. If Cuomo was the mayor, I'd be criticizing him and trashing him right now. But the deck was stacked, and I don't even want to get started on the mayor's race. It's Friday. Okay, I want to enjoy my Friday, enjoy my weekend. I don't want to get started on the mayor's race. Okay, so you can hate Cuomo all you want, Bob. If he wasn't set up in the mayor's race, he'd be the mayor right now. And not Mom Johnny. It simply wouldn't be that way. See, now this is what you like to do. You want to get people worked up. Folks, I'm not taking Cuomo calls today. So I see a call on Staten Island. He wants to talk about Cuomo. Whether you like Cuomo or you don't like Cuomo, you can like him, you can hate him. I'm not dealing with that. It's off subject today. That's exactly what Bob wants. He wants to hijack the show and have me spend my time, waste my time hating Cuomo. Hate him all you want. So let's lose line 4, please. I'm not taking calls on Cuomo. Let's go to line 2. Ray, Long Island. What's on your mind, Ray?
Sir, how are you, Mr. Carter?
I'm good. Go right ahead, please.
Okay. Regarding the previous radio show, I know you don't like to overlap.
Yeah, sir, shows. I can't comment on a show before. I don't know what was discussed.
NRA training for gangbangers.
Excuse me?
He's talking about NRA training for gangbangers.
Wait, who? I don't know. Sir, I'm batting 1,000 with these last 2 calls. You said he's talking about, how do I know who he is? What are you talking about?
No, he's on the 770 WABC, and he's talking about...
Sir, who? I'm not following you.
Okay. Greg Kelly.
Okay, Greg is entitled to his beliefs. I love Greg. He's entitled to his beliefs. We have 2 separate shows. So you want me to respond to something Greg said? Is that fair to me?
Oh, no, it's not fair to you, sir. I just want your
So why are you bringing it up?
Because it's I'm sorry.
Wouldn't it make much more sense to discuss that issue with Greg on Monday? Wouldn't that make sense?
Discussing with him, but we were like 3 minutes at the end of the show.
Okay, and whose problem is that? Is that my problem?
No, it's not you, sir. No.
Okay, time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. It's wrong what happened in that Queens courtroom with that jury. Juries have to act based on law, but how do you let a cop killer walk on first-degree murder charge? And he killed Officer Diller and shot his partner, right? Shot his partner. So he tried to take out two cops, not one, but two. And I'm being silent. I guess it's about time for me to start 1001, 1002, 1003, because I really want to say on the air what should happen to him. But I can't because I'll get in trouble. This is a sum result of what happens in life when you tolerate these losers. And I grew up with guys like this, right? And you could tell when they were 12 years old that they were going to be losers for the rest of their lives. They always had the easy answer. They always had the slick answer. School was never the answer. And then you go kill an innocent police officer. I just wish, I'll say this much. I just wish that we had the street crimes unit, and I just wish they could have got to him right as he opened fire, right? So, folks, no more needs to be said. The street crimes unit would have handled this problem right there on the spot. We wouldn't have to deal with no trial for this loser. His mother should be kicked out of the projects if that's where she lives. She should be kicked off of welfare. The entire family should be punished for this loser. And I better stop now and get to some of your telephone calls on this Friday. Let's go to Dennis, line 2 in the Bronx. What's up, Dennis?
Dominic, as always, thank you for your great show, your support of the police. I just want to mention Google Ron Kuby the other day. He expressed a lot of sympathy for the Dillard family, and he said even though he wasn't convicted on murder one, he's still going to go away with consecutive sentences if the judge gives it to him. So I was very impressed with Ron Kuby saying that.
Wow. Okay, well, one for Ron there. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Mike now in Brooklyn. Line 3, what's on your mind, Mike?
Yes, Dominic. I hate when we have the radio weasel Russell condemning a police officer with no authority, no true accusations, just making up stuff. And the thing is, the problem with it right now is that from the media and the politicians, they condemn the police with everything, and that's how the two officers that were killed in Brooklyn there, assassinated by the media as far as I'm concerned, because all they said was, oh, the cop killed. What's going to happen? This is what you get. No results. We have to pray that a judge is going to do the right thing. And the death in Diller's family does not only affect his family, it also affects the other officer that was there and his family. And I know that for a fact, because Como and whatnot, they let out police killers, and one of them was Officer Gilroy.
Well, you're correct, Mike. It impacts all of us. Thank you for the call. Folks, never forget, that's the commitment America made on 9/11. You can honor it by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. Have a great weekend. I'm back Sunday night.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here? Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.